Hello class 103. Today is Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. And today we're going to be doing article. We're going to go to page 26 to 27. Page 26 to 27. So pause the video while you open up your books to that page and then we can get started. Okay. So if we look at page 26, we have an article that we're going to read about. And then we also have some questions we're going to answer on the next page. So let's get started with the article. Unbearable scenario. Preview. Do you know any endangered animals? What do you think causes extinction? So if you can, talk to someone about, like your mom, your dad, or someone, or a friend about any endangered animals you know. So I know that the rhinoceros was going extinct. Pandas at one point were endangered. So if you guys know any endangered animals, talk about it with someone and then talk about what you think causes an animal to go extinct. So what are some reasons why an animal no longer exists, okay? Let's talk about those two things very quickly, 2 minutes, and then come back and we'll do this, okay? All right. So today, talking about the polar bear. The polar bear is the largest land carnivore in the world. Most of them live in Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Norway, and Russia. According to the World Conservation Union, an estimated 20,000 to 25,000 bears are left, but their numbers is shrinking. So the furry animal faces the threat of extinction. The polar bear adapts well to icy regions. Its thick white fur protects the animal from extreme cold, and the polar bear also hunts for seals using sea ice. Sea ice, however, is melting at an alarming rate. According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, rapid loss of sea ice is endangering the polar bear's future. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions is the most important action to protect it. By 2050, more than 2/3 of the world's polar bears could be gone because of thinning sea ice. If the US and other nations don't take immediate action, experts have warned that polar bears will disappear forever. So we have some words down here. If you need them, the definitions are down there. So if you want, I want you guys to reread this story one more time, okay? Read it again to really make sure you understand it, because then we have to answer some questions on the next page. So take a second to reread this, pause the video, and then come back. Okay, so now let's answer some questions about the polar bear. So if you look at question 1, where do most of the polar bears live? Okay, so let's take a sec to go back. If we look in the first paragraph, most of them live in Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Norway, and Russia. So the answer to number 1, where do most of the polar bears live? Here's what we're going to say. So, number 1. Number 1, most polar bears live in Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Norway, and Russia. Okay. I'm pretty sure those are the countries. Let me double check. Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Norway, Russia. Most polar bears live in Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Norway, and Russia. That is the answer for number 1. So pause the video to make sure you have that written. We're going to move on to number 2. Number 2, what is the most important action to protect the polar bear's future? So what is the most important thing we have to do to make sure that polar bears don't go extinct? Well, if we look at it again, in the second paragraph, it says, Reducing greenhouse gas emissions is the most important action to protect it. Now the it we're talking about is the sea ice. So if we protect the sea ice, then we can protect the polar bears. So the answer to number 2, what's the most important action to take to protect polar bears? We say the most important action to protect polar bears is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Okay? The most important action to protect polar bears is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. All right, make sure you have that. Pause the video if you have to. And then we can go to number 3. All right, number 3, which is not correct according to the article. The polar bear is the largest land carnivore in the world. The numbers of polar bears is growing. The polar bear adapts well to icy regions. Well, let's just go check these answers, okay? So the first one says the polar bear is the largest land carnivore. So if we look at the first sentence, the polar bear is the largest land carnivore. So we know that the answer is not number 1. Number 2, the number of polar bears is growing. Well, let's go see. If you look over here, according to the World Conservation Union, an estimated 20,000 to 25,000 bears are left, but their number is shrinking. So it's not growing, it's shrinking, it's getting smaller. But just to be sure, let's go check number 3. The polar bear adapts well to icy regions. Hold on, let's see if we can find it. In the first sentence right here, the polar bear adapts well to icy regions. So the answer, which one is not true according to the article? The answer is number 2. So make sure you circle number 2, all right? Number 4, what is causing the decrease in the number of polar bears? It's a little close, sorry. What is causing the decrease in the number of polar bears? 1, lack of water for them to drink. 2, dirty air. Or 3, rapid loss of ice. Well, we should already know this because we read it in the article. It says, if we look, the polar bear also hunts for seals using sea ice. Sea ice, however, is melting at an alarming rate. So, number 4, what is causing the decrease in the number of polar bears? The answer is 3, rapid loss of sea ice. Okay? And that, my friends, is our lesson for today. If you guys have any questions, call or email the school. We can help you. That's all I have for you guys, so I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Have a good day, guys.